Why do American households use 110 volts while China uses 220 volts? Is 110 volts more advanced? In fact, quite the opposite. From the perspective of technological development, 220 volts is the better choice. This has to do with the history of electricity development. The United States was the first country to use electricity on a large scale. At that time, Edison promoted the 110 volts direct current standard. Although alternating current later became mainstream, the 110 volts voltage specification was retained. As the power grid expanded, engineers found that 110 volts had relatively high losses during long-distance transmission and consumed more metal materials. By this time, it was very difficult for the United States to switch to the 220-volt standard that Tesla had once promoted. Not only would the entire power grid need to be transformed, but all household appliances would also have to be replaced, which would be too costly, so they had to continue using 110 volts. Meanwhile, China, being a later developer in planning its power grid, had no historical burden, and, after comprehensive consideration, directly chose the 220 volts standard. This voltage has less loss during transmission, is more efficient, and is especially suitable for long-distance power supply, making it much more economically advantageous overall. Today, the world's household voltages are mainly divided into two camps. One is represented by the United States and Japan, with about 30 countries using 100 to 130 volts, and the other includes nearly 120 countries such as China, the United Kingdom, Germany, and Australia using 220 to 240 volts. Speaking of this, some might ask, is 110 volts safer than 220 volts?